Hi guys, Stubborn Cold here. I'm here to bring you the first few duels I've had with the necloths. First up will be a Bujin match. So he sets 2 and summons Mikazuchi. My turn, I draw, and I draw into another preparation. So I go Manju search Brionic search Decisive, Kalus search for Exomir, Rhoda search Shrit, to summon the Decisive Armor, preparation back for Gungnir and Exomir since the Shrit summoned Trishula. His turn, he goes for Suswano. I figured he probably was either going to add the Crane or whatever, so did that. He attempts to blow up Decisive Armor with Quillen. Attacks. I'm like, okay. My turn, draw into Unicorn, so I'm like, okay, Unicorn, ditch for Brionic, preparation for another Gungnir, banish the Shrit for Brio, summon Brio so I can bounce his Suswano. Then I activate Decisive Armor. I should have done this before summoning Brionic to hit his backfield. He flips the Phoenix Chain going after Brio. I Trish Protect, although I didn't really need to because Decisive Armor was going to get rid of it anyway. So Brionic and Decisive Armor both get attacked for free. His turn, he draws another Phoenix Chain. He sets and passes. My turn, I draw into Exomir, so I go Decisive Armor, attempt to pop the back row. So I get hit with that Phoenix Chain. Brionic just attacks, and I end his turn. He gets Yamato. I'm like, of course you would draw him. Crane, yeah. End phase, I think he must have misclicked and grabbed that Crane by mistake, or maybe he just was new to Bujins, I don't know. But anyway, I summon Gungnir, swing over. He has lands. End phase, I decree, so I don't have to worry about wherever that backfield is. My Decisive Armor is now free of his decree. Alright, game 2. Again, he goes first. He summons Yamato. End phase, dumps the hair. My turn, I have Brio, Kalus. So I search for a Trish, go Kalus, Exomir, banish the 2 for the Trish. Stupid hair is going to force my Trishula not to resolve. I was too afraid of Crane or an Honest, and of course he did have the Crane like I figured he probably did. Yamato, end phase, I'm like, breakthrough skill, so you don't get anything. So hopefully I've limited your ability a little bit. Kalus, search for Kaleido, send Herald for Unicorn, preparation back. Use Unicorn's effect, add Trish back. Now I'll use the Trishula because now he can't protect against it. So Trish and Unicorn both get a swing through. His turn, he has nothing to banish for Harumi, so he just summons Turtle, and I wanted to chain the Decisive Armor to the Honest, but I guess it didn't want to work that way, but whatever. So Unicorn runs over, I hit him for 14 with Manju. His turn, he has a Black Horn of Heaven. He summons Harumi and attacks. I'm like, okay, I'm not too worried about that. I draw another Kaleidomir. I'm like, okay, Unicorn beat up Harumi too, and he makes me discard. I'm like, okay, I can give up Kaleidomir easily enough. It's like why he gave up his own Harumi, I don't know. So I go Rhoda for Shrit for Valk, Brio for Decisive, and then Valk just gets a swing for game. Alright, next match is against Mermails. As you can tell, I opened up nothing but spells. I go preparation for Unicorn, Kaleido, send the Herald for Unicorn, add Brionic, and I'm just going to leave in my hand set both my Misties and pass. End phase Misty, because I might as well clear his backfield while I have it. I like that triple pike he has, because it's not really going to do much. Brionic, search Kalus, search Exo, then Trish. I'm going to banish 3. Thank goodness I hit that Lindy before it became a problem. Hit him with both Unicorn and Trish. He draws a Marksman that's absolutely worthless, so he just sets. I go preparation, attack, and Trish gets to swing through. His turn, he draws a controller, and he scoops right there because he had no out to what my board already was. Game 2, I sided in Danger and Releaser of Rituals. I think he's the only thing I sided in just because he hurts Mermails. He got to go first, but he just passed. I was like, okay, what do you have, and should I be concerned? So I search out Kaleido Mirror in, use Unicorn, search Herald, go for Decisive Armor, set Misty and pass. He goes Princess for Pike, Pike drop Infantry, Infantry destroy, TS drop Marksman, Marksman. Luckily he hit the Decrease so I can flip that, keeping myself safe. He hits me for 32 off the Pike and the Aqua Spirit. Main phase 2 goes for Bahamut Shark into Abyss Tray. I'm like, okay, I don't care what your backfield is, I have you pretty much locked out. Manju, then Exomere for Decisive Armor that says he can't special summon. Swing over his Bahamut Shark and pass. Of course, he would top deck Undyne, and he dumps an Infantry to pop my Decisive Armor. I was like, okay, well, that sucks, but whatever, I guess. So I'm down to 33, and all I have is Brionac in hand. Luckily, I drew Trish, so I go Exomere, to search another Exomere. Brio searches Shrit. I then banish the Releaser, so he is again locked out of special summoning, and he has to deal now with my 27 Trish. Apparently he didn't have any more inventories, which isn't surprising anymore. I draw Preparation, and I go for a Decisive Armor. Decisive Armor is going to keep clearing his set guys out of the way so I can keep hitting him. This turn he draws a Princess, which is absolutely worthless. He just sets, which it's not like it matters with Releaser. I'm just going to banish it anyway. And the last match up for this video is necloths vs. Hat. I was actually wondering how this would actually work, and it actually works really well because since he had so many backfill, I was like, okay, let's go Decisive Armor and find out. I hit a DP, Fire Hand, I was like, Trish, you are not touching my Decisive Armor right now. His turn, he draws a Morale Tech, so he sets that in Ice Hand. My turn, I draw. I go Rhoda for Shrit. Blue, search Kaleido. Brio, search Trish. Decisive Armor, I popped the one that he just set because I was more afraid. Because the other ones he hadn't really been able to change anything. Then he changed the Compulse, so I'm like, okay, I'll take the Decisive Armor back in my hand right now. He gets another Morale Tech and sets it. My turn, I draw Preparation, so I go for Gungnir and add Exomere back. Rhoda, Shrit. Brio for Unicorn. Unicorn, add Trish back. Shrit, get Decisive Armor. Search Gungnir. This was mainly just to protect my Decisive Armor and Trish from any targeting or any banishing. He goes for a Fire Hand. I was like, okay, you can keep it for a turn. Brionac, search Valk, Preparation, Exomere, get Gungnir, so I can pop the Caldon. I'm not sure why he didn't either attempt to destroy it with the Fire Hand, or maybe he thought it was just pointless with the Trish in my hand, but I don't know. But whatever, I won game 1. Alright, game 2, I believe again all I said was the Releasers just because Hat specials a lot. So I go Manju, he breakthrough skills, I'm like, okay, I still have another Manju, so I can do what I need to attack. It's a nice hand, I'm like, okay, I'll take 200, I guess. He draws another Diona, I'm like, okay. My turn to draw Rhoda. Okay, let's see, does this Manju get off? No, he's going to summon it. Okay, well, Rhoda for Cluse then. Cluse, search the Exomere, and I have to pass because I don't have anything I can really do. I should have searched a Kaleido Mirror. I draw another Exomere, I'm like, well, this is great. Add Cluse. Cluse, search Kaleido in case I can draw another Unicorn at this point. And then I draw Shred, I'm like, oh, this makes everything better because here comes Trish. Thank you for wasting that warning, so my Trish was all nice and ready for you. Attack, and like, oh, of course it's another Ice Hand. Good thing I didn't have Manju attack that. He goes for Mermello, searches Nightmare, goes for Exciting, nukes the field. I'm like, okay, so I know which one's Nightmare, and I'm like, okay, I can get around this. Rhoda for Shrit, Brio for Unicorn, Kaleidomere Unicorn, so his Exciting Knight is negated. Swing over it first. Main phase 2, I'm going to go for this Decisive Armor and Shrit. I won't use his effect because I know that's Nightmare. His turn, he sets, summons Diona, goes from 101, which is pointless because Unicorn is sitting on field. I draw the Releaser, so I'm like Unicorn, add Exomere back. Decisive Armor pop. I didn't want to get rid of the Unicorn on the field, but stuff happens. He goes to DP my non-special summoning Decisive, so I'm like, no, I will Trish protect against that. His turn, he draws an Ignition. My turn, I draw Preparation. I go for Decisive Armor, pop. That stupid Ignition is going to keep me from killing that 1/1. So it's his turn. He draws Dichotomy, goes Dichotomy, puts back 3, and draws a Fire Hand and a Max C. Not that Max C is really going to help him. Decisive Armor is going to get rid of his Fire Hand, so it's not a problem, and I win the match. Alright, and the one bonus duel for this video, the only reason I chose this is because it was sharks. I wish we would know anything about them, but I'm kind of giving up on the sharks for right now until either I hear information about them that they're actually coming out, or unless the necloths come first, because then I'll play the necloths instead. So I believe I start, so I set Decree, go Manju for Kaleido, Kaleidos, and Rainbow, search Exomere, and pass my turn. His turn, sets 3, end phase I'm going to Decree. I go for Brionic, search Shrit, go for Decisive Armor with Shrit, Decisive Armor. Since he MST'd the Decree, I was like, okay, he's definitely got something back there. So I Preparation for Gungnir, just so I could protect the Decisive Armor if anything happens, switch the Manju. He Torrential Reborn's back a Double Fin. I'm like, okay, I ain't too worried about that. Yeah, he has Goldfish, but he goes and sends Gazer Shark instead. I'm like, okay. So Decisive Armor pops and banishes that, so I was like, okay, thanks for making that easy. He draws a Torrential Reborn, sets, and I'm like, okay. My turn, first up, Decisive Armor, get rid of the backfill, then I'll go Shrit into Trish. Trish is going to banish the Double Fin and the last monster in his hand along with the one on the field, and it was a game. So I'm really enjoying the necloths. I can't wait for them to come out to TCG, especially because with Gungnir coming in Secrets of Evolution, it shouldn't be long for TCG to get them. That's the hope anyway. Anyways, this is Stop 'Em Cold signing out. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.